So we started on this car in April, late April, early May of 2012. As we stand here right now, we're 2 weeks away from SEMA 13. Well, the first thing to remember about Ridetech building a complete car is that we don't build complete cars. Building cars is kind of how we spend money. That's not how we make money. Unlike most shops, this is the only car that's been in our shop for the last year and a half.
I mean, actually physically working on a car, it was Greg and Dennis and myself, and Greg did the majority of the mechanical stuff, and Dennis and I split up. I did a lot of the fabrication, and he filled in the gaps there, you know, finishing, doing metal finishing stuff and panel fitment.
The primary criteria for this car was it to be what we call rental car reliable. It has to start, move, turn, brake, just like a brand new car, because he truly intends to drive this thing across the country. And that's a big deal, because if you've ever driven across the country, there's not a gas station or a repair shop on every corner. Sometimes you may travel through the desert at 2 o'clock in the morning and be 200 miles away from the nearest civilization. So you don't want to have to worry if the car is going to make it or not. And we want to make sure it makes it. Everything else falls in line behind that. The form always follows the function.
I think it's pretty clear most shops kind of have their fingerprint, I guess you might say. Our stuff is, in my opinion, daily drivable. Everything works. If it's in there, it works. There's no reason not to have it there if it doesn't work. And then we do our best job to make it look good too.
The big difference between what we've done here and what we've done with a lot of the other builds that we've done is that Mark said, these are some of my ideas and here's a rendering, but do something that's gonna wow me. He truly wants a unique car. His main criteria is a cool car.
I'm not used to working on one a year and a half. I'm used to getting them in and out a lot quicker. And I thought I knew a lot. I was supposed to be teaching a young guy something, and he's teaching me something every day, and that's pretty cool right there. You don't see any car out there with body lines as sharp and crisp as what these are, and that don't happen on its own. You got to have spend days, weeks on one panel to get it to look like they are, and there's so many angles and curves and grooves and stuff. I had probably a month in just a taillight panel. Something that probably go unnoticed, other than I know how much time I got in it, and I know it every time I go by it.
Yes, it takes money to do this. It takes money to buy the components. It takes money to pay the people who are doing the work. But it's more than just money. It's the shared vision. At this point, Mark has only seen this car one time during the build, and it's been about a year ago. His complete faith in our abilities in every aspect has been very humbling, really.
The customer has to have a lot of trust and respect for you and let you go that route. You know, they had the big picture there, but you have to fill in the gap, and you know, so that's kind of left up to the guys doing it.
Everybody in this building is such a perfectionist. We're never happy. You know, we've gotten stuff in from one manufacturer or another, or one supplier or another, and we've taken a look at it and says, you know, that's really nice, but this is what we're going to do to it, so that it's truly a unique part. The mirrors, for instance, Kurt Blackgrove here made these mirrors from scratch, from pieces of aluminum that have been tagged together, and they've been hand filed and body worked and painted and fit to the car. right on down to John Hoaxong made the swivel mechanisms for the lenses. You know, most of the time you don't get to do that kind of stuff. They say, here's a mirror, put it on. That makes me happy.
There was, since I've got a Camaro, 69 Camaro, there was a lot of the ideas that they were wanting done that I had thought would look cool prior to this anyways. So I actually got to do some of those on this car. And it took a lot of, you know, waking up in the morning, you know, just trying to think how we're gonna make it happen. And it took a lot of time, but worked out good, I thought.
The thing that'll be noticed the most on this is the front end, and it's just something you can't walk by and look at it and say, wow, it looks so original, but everything's changed on it, and it's all functional too. If you look at the bumper, it's an original bumper. If anybody knows what the original bumper looks like on a 69 Camaro, this is original bumper cut in 8 pieces and welded back together. That is original 69 metal on that bumper. And you don't buy them like that, you have to fabricate them. And if anybody has a 69 Camaro fixed, and it's all stock, and they park it beside this car, they're gonna move it real quick, because they'll be proud of their car yet, but this car will get all the attention.
The front end of the car just went completely crazy. We ended up having to make everything from the grill surround in, and then with the metal finish stripe, the metal finish had to be pretty spot on too.
You're gonna have to look at it 4 or 5 times and walk around it and then come back to it and look around it again and then park another 69 Camaro next to it and come back and look at it again, just to see half of the design features that have gone into the body changes and the mods on the car. You're not going to see another one anywhere on the planet.
There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it. It wasn't a 9-to-5 gig. You know, there was a lot of late nights piddling with it. You went home thinking about it, sleep on it, wake up in the morning, and sometimes, you know, the idea was there. The fun part about it is going above and beyond.
The end goal has not changed. We wanted to build a car that was really cool and that was entirely street worthy, that anybody can drive. And that criteria has not changed. You know, when we fired this thing up, it was just like firing up a brand new car. We fired it up, we let it warm up, we looked under it just out of guilt to make sure nothing was leaking, and then we drove the car down the road. There wasn't 2 weeks worth of stuff to fix to make sure it can go down the road. It's done. When it's done, it's done.
Bret Voelkel and a test drive. You better have your crap together, I'm telling you, because he gets in a car and there is no mercy. There's not, well, you need to take it a little easy on this, because if I asked that, he would say, well, then we might as well not go. You're gonna have to fix it before we drive out of the parking lot, because I'm gonna take it out and break it. He beats on a car to make sure that when we deliver it to a customer that it is gonna hold up.
It's very tight, it's very precise. It's very sure-footed. The seating position is nice, the pedal position is nice. You can see the gauges. The steering is precise. The brakes work very linearly and predictably. All the controls are within easy reach. It's a happy car. It makes you happy, almost to the point it's noticeably happy to drive this car. It has no problem blowing the tires off in practically any gear at practically any speed. You can get yourself in trouble with this car if you so choose. So when Mark comes to me next month or whenever he drives this car and he has a complaint about maybe it's a little loose on corner exit, I'm probably going to break his right foot, because that's the problem.